Hi everyone, welcome. I'm out here at my outdoor worm bag and I was just waiting for the sun to peek out behind the clouds to show me where the sun would hit if I wasn't blocking the direct sunlight. So usually I find that the footage gets kind of fouled up if the direct sun gets in here, so I'm trying to block it if possible to provide us with a more even distribution of our supply of light out here. So as you can see, fall is continuing to add leaves to our bin, but most of the leaves off the trees overhead have been dislodged by the rain and the wind that we've been getting lately. Only a few more leaves to go before the trees are completely bare. Seems like the moisture that we put in here last time is holding up pretty good. Oh yeah, this right here. I was, besides waiting for the sun to show where it's at so I can position myself properly to provide shade to the system, I was looking all over the place which pocket that I hid this from myself in, and I finally found it and I was ready to go. But basically this sums up the system's stats. It's a 161-day-old system, fed 12 times so far, and the little thing that I've been kicking around here for weeks now which is the concept of extending the time period between check-ins in my systems is finally getting a little bit realized in here by us waiting 3 weeks between feedings, which is a little bit uncharacteristic for me, but it kind of worked out well. So we were pretty generous with the feeding and the bedding last time. You could see a lot of the stuff that we added last time, which was my shredded no, you know what, this wasn't my prepared bedding. I believe this was just an entire leaf bag that I shredded. No cardboard, just a big brown paper leaf bag that came out here, and my thinking was that to complement a nice ample supply of paper-based bedding that they got last time, I would come in here today with just some leaves that I collected over next to me on the ground, and that piece of paper with the stats on it. This stuff is really nice. I like the moisture content. Everything feels really cozy, and I mean, there's no mob scene of worms anywhere, but almost every handful seems to yield at least a couple worms. And they just blend in, so I could be actually bumping into many more here without me even noticing it. So let's, I thought I saw a sign of a black soldier fly larva, which is something that we've encountered in this system in the past. We usually find them where the food is, because that's what they're after. But with these cool temperatures we've been having lately, I don't know how much black soldier fly activity is going to continue in here. I think they're just going to kind of go dormant. They're just going to have to wait until things warm up again. Because as I go through here, I could feel it on my hands. This stuff is chilly, pretty chilly. And you know, I was looking at the extended forecast. The next time we're going to have cool temperatures like today again is 2 weeks from now. So it's not going to be much warmer between the then and now. A little bit warmer, but the next time the temperature drops to as low a high temperature as we're seeing today is a couple weeks away. So the system will receive a little bit of a break for a while from the really cold temperatures, but you know, there's no stopping winter. It's definitely on its way. So I've already found the stems and part of the peel from a couple bananas as we make our way down into the feeding zone. Here's another piece of banana peel. Clearly a popular item in the worm bin, right? What's not popular is when the big scary human comes out here and casts you out into the direct sunlight. It's a little bit unpleasant. So, all right, let's quick geek in here and let these little guys get back to the darkness of their bedding. I'm glad to see that they're enjoying the banana peel, because I've got a couple more of that for them today, in addition to some other kitchen scraps, as well as a few days worth of coffee and even the coffee filters. So here I like to sort of take what appears to me like just clumps of the bedding that I applied last time and now see if I can blend it in with some of the surrounding materials to help incorporate it. And it does feel like I'm bumping into large wads of it, you know. And there's some other leftover foods combined with this stuff here and there. It's another banana peel. Looks like banana peels have been pretty popular in the worm bin feedings lately, eh? Yeah, my supply of food has been changing lately, you know. Seems like the word's got out and people like the idea of doing away with their compostable household waste in a responsible way if possible. So I've been getting cardboard paper tubes, kitchen scraps, coffee, all kinds of goodies from, you know, friends, family, even friends of friends, amazingly, believe it or not. So let's get to feeding these little guys. I was thinking perhaps we'd come in with some of the leaves that I collected here. I did make an effort to crumble the stuff as best I could to try to minimize the space it's going to occupy down here in the worm bin, and then my idea was to hang on to what remains here and use it as a nice top coating. It's just one of the ways we like to apply my leaves here. So let's see, here's the feeding. We could drop in the coffee, and perhaps we'll even just set these coffee filters aside briefly and we'll mark where we fed. It's just a little tradition in my worm bins to mark where we fed with a feeding zone indicator, which 99% of the time is just a used coffee filter. So here's those two nice big additional banana peels, but you know, as long as we're on the topic, I always seem to forget about all the yummy leftovers that I excavated and then I leave them resting out on the surface. Let's get all this stuff down here where all the fun's gonna be. And I think we got the majority of it. Well, it's not rocket science. We're doing good enough here to consider that as a decent setup. And I don't know, should I bother breaking this all apart? Should I leave it as a big lump? It might result in more of a worm party next time we get back in here, but I'm gonna strive to maintain a pretty long gap between check-ins. I'm liking the idea of just leaving the worms to be and not disturbing them constantly, which is seemingly my reputation. I'm just trying to do what they're here for, which is dispose of compostable household waste with their help. But I guess the downside to that is just the frequent interruptions that they get from the big scary humans. So here's some of that leafy matter we excavated. It does feel like we've done a pretty good job helping a lot of that stuff get blended in, so that's nice. And boy, oh boy, my hands are getting chilly. So let's just go a little bit deeper this time. I'm going to make a quick lap around the system just so we can get a better sense of how things around the edge look. At the same time, we're just sort of combining stuff, bringing stuff that's down low out to the surface and vice versa. And I guess all I'm trying to do is not disturb the center feeding zone too much, although as just a big lump of frozen together food there in the middle, I don't think there's much we could do to disturb it. I think that thing's gonna just sit there. The worms are gonna appreciate it, I'm sure. Nice plentiful wad of yummy foods, all different types for them to feast on. And I'll tell you, once you get done airing the material, aerating the material and fluffing it all up this way, it definitely starts to feel like, you know, we're approaching the capacity of the system. But then again, you know, what we're putting in here is all kind of lightweight stuff. It's basically just the introduction of a lot of air in between everything, so it's not all that compact yet. I mean, the system's not all that old if you think about it. But I do want to equip it with a nice generous portion of bedding, kind of a blanket to help with insulating them from the chilly conditions of the encroaching winter months. And I'm definitely liking the idea that I've put out there, which is not to chicken out, not to let myself feel like these little guys can't handle it and end up bringing them inside. I was thinking this year it'd be nice if I can, if it doesn't get too brutal outside, to just let them stay outside and weather it, you know. So I figured a little bit more moisture, even though things felt really good in here. I figured what the heck, I already went to the trouble of putting water in my can here and bringing it over here, so let's give them some of it. The worms aren't going to complain. They're big fans of moisture. And, you know, with the top coverings that we're using here, it is best to take that into account, because we can cover up and not allow moisture in here for quite some time, and then things could get uncomfortable, and we wouldn't want that. So that's it for the check-in with the outside worm bag. Things are looking really nice in here, and hopefully they're enjoying this nice bonanza of different types of bedding they've been getting lately. All right, everyone, that's it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please don't forget to leave me a quick thumbs up before you go. That's always really appreciated. And if you haven't done so already, please also consider subscribing to the channel. That's very much appreciated as well. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye now. Oops, out of sight, out of mind. Almost forgot about the nice fancy new cover we got for the outdoor worm bag. Well, I'll take care of getting things covered here properly. Just wanted to let you see that I didn't forget. Well, I did forget, but I was reminded. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks again for watching. Bye now.